To Monday night live 17. Warren from NQ Explorers.
G'day everyone.
How are you this evening?
I'm good.
Are you good?
I'm warm.
It's
a bit warm
it is warm in here. How's the world's greatest YouTube channel?
Well, it's ticking along all right. Yeah, we've been out finding some good stuff.
Yeah, I noticed a video there.
Yeah.
When was that video posted? I think.
Oh, about a week ago, I think.
Yeah.
I've got another one to go up, but we've actually got onto a couple of good new World War II sites where I'm finding some good stuff. So.
Oh, it
takes about 3 or 4 weeks to get it from the field work to the publishing stage, but we've got a few up in the pipeline.
It takes me 6 months sometimes. I'm hopeless with it. So.
Or it's instant. You do it live.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like this live because there's no editing. Sometimes that's not a good thing.
I wouldn't mind doing some live relic stuff from the field, but it'd be like 10 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Exactly.
There'd be no one watching it.
Oh, you'd be surprised. By 10 o'clock.
I would be surprised.
By
10 o'clock.
By 10 o'clock, everyone's done all their work for the day.
Oh, true,
just,
well, morning tea, smoko.
Smoko time, so, yes. Now, we didn't say hello to a lot of people last week, so my apologies, but everyone's here. Henny's here. Kelly, James, Sean, Mike. How are you, Mike? There should be a few mics here. So, there's always a few mics. So,
that's right.
So tonight, we're doing part 2. So last week we did where, and we're more than happy to answer any questions you've got about where, later in the show.
So we did reading a stream and reading a hill slope and all that.
All that sort of stuff.
But yeah.
This week we're going to do how.
How do you extract the gold from the ground?
Yeah, exactly. So, and one thing I'm really looking forward to is there should be a volume control on that. Colleen. So, hang on a sec.
There's a slight technical glitch here. Ben's seeing to that. Yeah, so this week we're going to go through all the different methods of gold extraction from metal detecting, sluicing, high banking, panning, and divining.
And here we are.
We're
back. So, so I'm really looking forward to this divining. I think it'll be $1 million.
Yeah, so. I better study up on that then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the best thing about gold as a hobby is it suits all budgets, really, doesn't it, Ben?
Exactly.
You can spend what you like on a metal detector, but you can buy a plastic pan.
Yeah, and you're away. Yeah. So tonight we're giving away in about an hour's time. We're going to give away. This is our prize for tonight, Ace 200 metal detector. It'll go out to. We got our random number generator.
Randomizer.
Randomizer. We named it last week.
Steam-driven randomizer.
Steam-driven randomizer.
Built from parts of relic we found. Big flywheel and a few belts and a boiler.
And a Dodge door.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
So the randomizer will pick whoever shares this post. So you've got an hour's worth of sharing to go. And we'll, give away this.
About 8:30.
About 8:30. Well, it's about an hour for those people who aren't on Brisbane time.
Oh, sorry, if you're not on Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. And it's open to anyone around the world. Like, there was entries last week from the States, North Carolina, all sorts of places.
Scotland, England.
Scotland, yep. So, yes. So, since we're, David. There you go. Found my first gold this week.
Oh, nice.
Well done. What a great fitting start to the show.
Don't need to watch this, you know how to do it.
There you go. Yep. So, since we're talking about detectors, we might just touch on. We talk about detectors every week. So, I think what we might do is we might sort of do a rough overview of the 2 different types of detectors you can use gold prospecting.
Yep.
And I suppose. The cheaper way is a ground balancing VLF machine, right? So the big advantage of a ground balancing VLF machine is it tells you basically what the target is before you dig it up.
Because it reads the conductivity of the target.
Yeah. So it's a conductivity meter, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's probably a good way to think about it.
Yeah. So, and the VLF frequency range is like 3 to 30 kilohertz.
Yep.
There are multi-frequency and there's single frequency VLF machines.
Yep.
You get the same result from both, even though the companies will tell you different.
Yeah, I don't find a lot of difference.
There's some machines like a Fisher Gold Bug's up in 75 kilohertz. It's actually outside VLF, it's LF.
Yeah.
In the 30, yeah, it's above 30 kilos. But anyway, yeah, basically ground balancing VLF metal detector is able to tell the difference between different conductivities of a target that's detected. So the way that works is that just simply, high conductive items like silver, for example, react best to low frequencies. So if you only made a metal detector to find silver coins, you want to be running about 3 or 4 kilohertz, like really low. Gold isn't a real good signal return to either a pulse machine or a VLF, so it needs a higher frequency. Reacts better to medium to high frequencies, 15 kilohertz and above sort of thing. Some machines do have switchable, like a Deos has got switchable coils. Frequencies. And what you do in that situation is you switch to the frequency that suits what you're looking for. If it's relics or it's gold or it's whatever.
And for a beginner, that's the most confusing thing on the planet. That's the biggest learning curve for a Deus machine or the multi-frequency machine.
I mean, by the very nature of prospecting metal detectors are pretty complicated, really.
Well, they're advanced.
They're advanced. But there's plenty of good quality switch on and go ones.
Absolutely. Like the Rob, I think Rob mentioned it last week. I haven't tried the Gold Racer. Have you ever tried the Gold Racer? No, I haven't tried it.
That's the macro.
Macro, yeah. But I hear good reports about it. Like you can basically go and buy a VLF machine at a price point, and they're going to be very, very similar.
They are, like you've said that before. Like a $1,200 metal detector from any company will be similar in performance to a $1,200 metal detector from another company.
Exactly. Like you look at the AT Pro, AT Gold, AT Max. They will all find gold. And you know, they don't do it quite as well as each other, but they'll all find gold, they'll all do the job. And it's the same as if you go to Technetics, Land Ranger Pro, it'll find, you know, Bounty Hunter, the Deus machine.
So basically they're all VLF metal detectors. Now the other metal detector that's under consideration would be pulse induction.
That's right.
The difference being that a pulse induction machine isn't a constant wave transmission like a VLF. It turns the pulse train on and off thousands of times a second, depending on which brand you've got. The idea is that it tunes the ground out, and you only hear the target in the ground. And there's multi-pulse machines and there's single pulse machines like a White's TDI or an SDC 2300 from Minelab are all single pulses. GPX, ATX, multi-pulse. GPZ's it's different. It's a
it's a
DVT or something. It's like a hybrid VLF pulse. With I think the transmission changes from positive to negative all the time. Pretty complex. But you don't need to know how it works.
No, we don't need to know any of that.
Anyway, someone's just asked there, does an AT Pro find gold? Yes, it will. 15 kilohertz. Not ideal in super high mineralised ground, but that's where the VLFs will struggle anyway.
And
that will find gold.
This will find gold. It's an ACE 200. It's a $349 metal detector. The downside of these sort of VLF machines is they don't have a ground balance on them. So you can't tune the ground out. So your only option is to knock the sensitivity back a little bit, and you're not getting as much depth.
That's right.
So you can find gold. You can go out to goldfields with this, but you're best to get a ground balancing metal detector.
I mean, if you do own an ACE or you own a coin detector,
have a crack.
You can maximise your chances by coil changes. You don't want a big coil. You don't want to hear that much ground. You want a smallest coil you can put on it. Even a sniper, a little 4-inch. You know those hockey puck coils. A 5x8 double D. Double D will be quieter. And the other thing to remember about coin machines are generally got concentric coils. And concentric coils very sensitive, but it's like an inverted cone. So at depth, you're not covering much ground at all. It's only up high.
So there's a question here. A good question actually. Brian asked, while we're talking about this, a little fleck of gold, will that ring up the same as a ring made of gold, for instance? So the short version is no, because it's the machine, you got to think of them as a conductivity meters. So a small piece of gold has got a much lower conductivity than what a gold bar has got, or even a big plate of steel. So it's wrong to think that the higher, so VLF gives you a number, the higher the number, the better the target is, particularly out in the goldfields.
Yeah.
If you're looking for small targets with a small coil, I would seriously dig any repeatable signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And the thing about the size of the target, particularly on a pulse machine,
yeah.
if it's a small, tiny piece of gold, the pulse train dissipates really quickly. So it's got to read the return signal very quickly on a small piece of gold. So you'll find that machines that are tuned for tiny, tiny gold, like an SDC 2300, the timing is very quick.
Yeah.
Because the pulse disappears so fast, it has to read it really quickly.
Yeah.
For big gold, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. For a big lump like that.
Yeah. Even though it's a USB stick.
It is a USB stick, but it still rings up.
Now, there's a question: is divining for gold the same as water? We're doing that later.
Later. Yep. So.
So that's pulse and VLF.
So there is a difference with the pulse though. Pulse induction won't give you an idea what the target is without listening to the sound.
Yes.
And you have to be very good to listen to the sound.
Yes.
And I would suggest you dig everything with a pulse.
Yeah. And the thing is, the pulse, it loves iron, whereas VLF doesn't.
Yeah.
It's iron reacts the opposite to a VLF with pulse.
Yeah.
Because it's super conductive to a pulse.
Yeah.
Like you can hear pieces of wire.
Yeah.
Or nails, you can hear the pulse echoing on the return signal.
Yeah, yeah.
So they love iron, whereas VLF you can just discriminate it straight out.
So you might ask why we wouldn't use a VLF
Everywhere.
all of the time. Well, the pulse induction machine handles the mineralisation better. It's much quieter, and they'll go much deeper.
Yep.
So, yes. So, I haven't used an Equinox yet. Have you used an Equinox?
No.
No. I don't know. Good reports, bad reports, I don't know.
Not sure.
I haven't really followed it too much.
It's, well, it's not. What do you mean for gold?
For gold, yeah.
Well, look, it's a metal detector.
Yeah.
It's not actually designed for gold. Like Minelab market the Gold Monster for gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a VLF machine.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think they're advertising Equinox as a gold machine. It'd be like using an AT Pro in the gold fields.
Yeah, AT Pro, AT Gold, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put the fancy spin on all this multi-frequency stuff, but it's all the same.
Yeah. And, like, let me tell you a $1,200 metal detector from White's, Garrett, Minelab, Bounty Hunter, Technetics, Macro.
Will be very similar in performance.
Yeah, they'll be, you know,
comparable.
Comparable.
These
companies watch each other. They know what's going on with each other. So
it's like I keep saying, it's 90% operator, 10%
absolutely.
machine.
Absolutely.
Just get to know your machine.
Yeah.
There's still blokes running around with the old Groundhog or a Minelab 17,000.
And there's nothing wrong with
that. Still
that.
finding gold.
Yeah.
Hello, SD 2000.
Yep.
So that's metal detectors.
Yep. Yep. So what do we got?
What does a gold indicate on a 200i? Well, it depends on the size of the target.
Yep. Something that size will probably ring in the 50s.
Yeah.
Probably.
A little tiny piece of gold.
Well, we'll get
a 00 even.
00, right? The trick with gold is, with a metal detector, is you've got to ring every repeatable signal, don't you? You can't just
dig everything.
Yeah, you can't.
If it's a repeatable signal and you're confident it's not ground, even if you are, even if you're not confident it's ground, whatever. I'd just investigate every repeatable target.
Absolutely.
Really, in the goldfields, even with the VLF, we tend to ignore the target ID in some ways.
Yeah.
Because unless you've got the gold, if it's tiny, if it's a micro nugget, 0.01 grammer, it needs to be right up on the coil to get a target ID generally.
Exactly, yeah.
Like if it's 2 or 3 inches down,
you won't get a target ID.
You'll get an audio.
Yeah, you'll get the audio. You won't get a target ID. So it's a funny thing. In some respects, when I think about it, when I'm out in the goldfields and like I use that AT Max for instance, if I got that 5x8 coil on it, the Garrett 5x8 coil on it, if I get a target 20, 30, I think, oh, that's a bit of rubbish. I'll still dig it, right? But if I get a 00 signal or a 40 signal, I'm thinking, oh, that could be a bit of gold.
Yeah.
It's those wire, it's the iron targets in that sort of 15 to 30 that I'm sort of going, oh, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
Whereas below that, I'm sort of thinking, oh, is that a little piece?
Because you've got to be so careful, because if you put up 10 different gold nuggets all the same weight, each one would react differently to a metal detector.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of different shape and different purity.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Like
so
that's the metal detectors.
So let's just leave metal detectors a little bit there because.
We'll come back to some of those questions later.
Oh, we just had a question here. Tom, was it Andrew? Is this Minecraft? I don't really know what Minecraft is, Andrew, but it's not Minecraft.
Whatever Minecraft is, we're not in.
No, I think it's a game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't.
With their square-looking people.
Yes.
Unless we're super pixelated, we're not Minecraft.
No, exactly. When we look,
yeah,
pretty good here.
We do.
So, if we move on to panning. Right.
Which is your basic gold recovery technique.
So, let's, there is, let me just shrink us down a little bit here, and we'll put some of these Garrett gold pans up, because every time I show them on the screen, they turn green. Well, they're invisible. They turn see-through, see?
Because of the green screen.
Because of the green screen behind us. So, what's good about a gold pan? What's bad about a gold pan? And I have a number of them here. We might start with the oldest.
Ooh, the old tin dish.
The old tin dish.
Does that show up? Oh, yeah.
So, tin dish. We might make us a little bit big here for a minute. We'll make us medium size for a difference. So, the tin dish is the old traditional way to use a gold pan.
This dates from the 1800s.
Yeah. So that gold pan has got no riffles really on it. It's got a ring around the lip, but realistically no riffles.
No.
So the downside of that is it's very easy to
throw gold out. It's all technique.
Yeah.
It's all technique.
Yeah.
Not ideal for a beginner.
Not ideal at all. And the other thing we should mention probably with a steel pan is you can probably feel it, but it's oily.
Smells like a gun oil.
Yeah. You need to actually burn them to get rid of that. Stick them on the fire and burn them, and so they can get a bit of grip in them. A little bit of rust doesn't hurt. All that sort of stuff.
I've met plenty of people that are still using these, and they
absolutely.
But I always say to them, "That's great, and your technique's probably you're a professional, but try a Garrett pan with these 90-degree riffles because you will get so much more gold."
So it's pointless me holding that up, really. But what we've got, you can see on the picture there. Let's get rid of us because we're a fraction boring at the moment. But we'll make this picture a bit bigger. You can see on there the riffles are actually they're actually 90 degrees to the pan. So it's very, very difficult to lose gold out of that.
Yeah.
Out of the Garrett pans.
So Garrett developed these pans about 50 years ago. They were the first pans to have this 90-degree riffle. They've been copied but never really bettered.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the industry standard in gold pans.
Absolutely. And everyone sort of recognises that. They're even Garrett are always looking at new innovations where the base...
The new eccentric pan.
Yeah, the new pan, the base is actually off-centre.
Yeah, and it's larger, so you've got more material in there.
Yeah.
So what you said, the restrictions of a pan is the amount of material you can process.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything we're talking about from now on, so panning, sluicing, high banking,
bigger and bigger,
rocker boxing, and then we'll talk about your speciality, divining. But everything we're talking about from panning all the way through to rocker boxing and that sort of thing is volume based.
Yeah, it's volume based. But it all comes back to the gold pan to finish it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why we started there.
The old timers use the gold pan to prospect too, of course, and you can do that yourself. You can dry pan or wet pan. But then they needed to process more material to make some money. So they went on to, they invented the gold cradle in the California gold rush in the 1840s, which came to Australia too and was well used around Australia. Then the Highbankers, and of course river sluices.
Yeah.
All about, it's like any form of mining. The more you can process, the more you can produce.
Exactly.
The more potential you got to make money.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
And so, I mean, this has got fine riffles here and coarse riffles here. Now, this is a pan, this is a good branded pan. Yeah. It's an East Wing pan.
Okay.
But realistically, The problem with this is that the riffles are quite small.
They're not big enough. I was just going to say they're not big enough.
So you can't process a lot of material through it. So, like, there's a stack
of different pans. You can't process it quickly.
That's exactly right.
The thing about the Garrett pan, especially the big 15-inch super sluice, it's really forgiving of rough work.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm a rough worker.
Yes.
I haven't got the patience.
Yeah. So it's all about volume.
Yeah, it's all about volume.
So how I would work is I actually work a bit differently. Some people use the sluice, the
super sluice,
the sieve.
Oh, okay.
Sieve it down to size.
Oh, I definitely do that.
Right.
Definitely do that.
I tend not to.
Oh, okay.
I tend to use the big super sluice pan.
Just to get your oversize out of it?
And I pull the oversize out, depending on where I'm working, of course. Yeah. And then, because that you can process so much material in that pan, you can just go whack and knock it out.
Once you give it a bit of agitation,
you
can be confident that you can just sweep the top off it.
Yeah, and that's why
because the gull will stick in the riffles.
Yeah, that's where I'm pretty confident with that.
Yeah, look,
with that super sluice pan.
The siev's a bit of a luxury. It just reduces your oversized work.
Yeah,
and you can put it through a bigger sluice than that to start. Like in the end,
a bigger sieve you're talking about.
Bigger sieve. If you're you don't want to be as a weekend prospect. You don't want to be processing boulders anyway.
No.
Like you don't want to wash it 2 meters deep. You're not going to find the gold anyway.
Exactly.
So you need to be in those little runs or the gutters.
Yep.
Where you're getting that's about a 10 mil or 12 mil sieve, I think.
Yeah, 10 mil. Yep.
Yeah. So you don't want to be processing material any bigger than that anyway.
No, that's right.
Because you're going to have to get through all this too much material. If you're wasting your time on all the big gear, you're not down in where the concentrates are anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the big stuff will be sitting on the top. You want to be in the bottom. So just a bit of a reminder, guys. I'm Ben from Gold Diggers, Warren from NQ Explorers. Tonight we're giving away an Ace 200. You have to share this live stream during the live stream. It'll be drawn in about 40 minutes from now. So you've got 40 minutes to share this. Tomorrow we'll send this out to one lucky punter.
Wherever they are?
Wherever they are around the world, doesn't matter because we've got a lot of viewers from all over Canada, the UK. So
it's all up to the randomiser.
It's all up to the randomiser. So it'll randomly pick a comment. We've got this amazing piece of machinery in Warren's mind.
It's real.
Right, so there was a couple of questions. Now, there's a stack of different pans coming out. Like, there's the Gold Hog one in the States that's got that square bottom with riffles, and there's someone said Gold Claw, and the Turbo Pan's quite a good pan. I personally don't like it, but that doesn't mean it's not a good pan.
I've got I should have bought it. I've got one that's, I don't know what it's called, but it's shaped like a pyramid with the sides cut off.
Yep.
With the rubber bung in the bottom, and you slosh it from side to side.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing, and then you pull the bung out and the concentrates drop out.
Exactly. Yeah. But there's a stack of those different sorts of pans around.
Man has forever been trying to better the mousetrap.
Exactly, yeah.
But it still gets down to that Garrett super sluice. I don't think it's ever been better.
No, that super sluice pan, you can punch some material through it. And that's the trick. You want to punch as much material through as you can. So, right, so that's panning. So we'll talk about sluicing then.
Right.
So
what is a sluice?
What is a sluice?
Well, look at this, we've got one here.
Oh, now Warren's got a very flash one.
It's a scale. No, that's a real sluice, but it's a tiny little backpacking sluice for checking. Well, obviously you've got to have running water for a sluice.
Yeah.
So basically laid in the stream bed at the right angle.
Yeah.
That's the critical thing. If you have it too steep.
Yeah, the gold will run out.
And the water velocity is too high.
Yep.
Gold will run out.
Yeah. That's a giant sluice.
Yeah.
You couldn't process a lot of material with that.
Just a teaspoonful at a time with this thing, which is the way I operate. I'm in the bush for weeks to get a couple of fly specks. Yeah. But it's the same as even a rocker box. Or your Highbanker. You got to have your angles right.
So there's some bigger sluices.
Okay.
Right there.
That's what they look like.
In between.
So basically, you set them up in the creek bed in a stream flow in flowing water.
Yep.
At the right angle, and it takes a bit of experimentation because you don't want your gravel running off too quick.
Yep.
And then you shovel your material into the sluice.
Yeah, exactly. And when we're talking shoveling, you're probably running it off the tip of your shovel.
Oh yeah, you're not dumping a shovelful. No.
Yeah.
So like you said, you're running it, and you just got to look at how the material drops into the sluice and how it runs onto the mat.
Yep. And just to give you a bit of an idea here, this is the I'll just put that up. That's that dream mat that we do a bit with gold rat sluices. They're local people up here in Brisbane, but that's their dream mat, and I think it's one of the most you know, it's a bit unique.
What's that, silicone? Is it? Looks like.
Yeah, it's like a silicone mat.
It's easy to clean.
Easy to clean, and it creates these back eddies all the way down.
I see. Yeah.
From the circular, from the layout of it. So, and it's easier to set it up because you can see it cleaning out in those back eddies.
Oh, righto.
So you want the heavies to
rather
stay.
than just a sluice with the normal traditional riffles.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is hard. You've got to get your flow right, because if you get your flow wrong,
You look at that fella there, right? It's just got those riffles running across it. It's hard to get that even flow across it. Where with these dream mats, because they've got those back eddies, and you can actually watch what the water's doing all the way down.
That's a bit of innovation.
Yeah, yeah. So
because if you slope and your flow's too slow on these, it chogs up.
Yep.
And if it's too quick, you lose everything out the bottom.
And then that's water velocity plays into that as well. So, you know, and so that's why people went to Highbankers.
Next step is Highbanking.
Highbanking. Now, we do have to be a little bit careful here, in that a lot of these things you would have to check in
your state. And I don't think there's one that. Well, the issue here is a Highbanker has a high pressure spray bar to break up material.
And it's.
So you shovel a lot of gravel on it. There's two blokes who work a Highbanker all day, and you can put a lot of gravel through it.
And it's mechanical.
It's mechanical,
right? And that's the defining bit. It's a lot of the
New South Wales forget it.
Yep. Queensland
forget it.
Yep. But this is a Highbanker is a small wash plant they use commercially.
You're getting into mining now,
right?
Yeah.
So. Up until recently in Victoria, they've been able to use on private property, I think.
Yes.
They've been able to use them. So, but this is a small version of what you see on Gold Rush and on these big cuts.
Because the amount of gravel two blokes can put through this thing in a day is
a lot.
Yes, a lot of gravel.
Yeah.
Because and even if it's that clay stuff, the spray bars break all the clay up and wash the gold out of it.
Yep. So. And you can get these, I know Goldbrack do them up to about, I think it's about 16 inches wide or something like that. It's a big Highbanker sort of thing.
Yeah, you can be pretty sloppy. Like you can put a lot of you can shovel a lot of gravel and just keep washing it.
Yep. So you can put through a lot of material.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them I've seen, wash plants can be 20 feet wide.
I know.
And huge.
Driven by a Caterpillar engine.
Caterpillar engines and dozers and...
The point being that you've still got to take your mat out and
clean the mat.
Clean the mat and pan the concentrate.
Yeah, so you're
always back to the pan.
You're still back to the little pan.
Yeah.
Right?
Even though you may have 30 kilos of concentrate.
Exactly. You're still working the pan. So, and you'll see those big companies, right? Where they're processing a lot of gold, and there's kilos of gold. They're still cleaning the last bit up with the pan. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So the Highbanker works on the same principle. That's got the dream mat in it as well. That particular one, that's a gold wrap one. You know.
So basically, your material runs one way.
Yeah.
Your oversize runs out onto the ground.
Yep.
And then the concentrates drop down and run back the other way along your mat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's.
So you can see that the top slope.
Yep. Is where you're shoveling.
You're shoveling, and it discharges your oversize and your dirt.
So it goes out.
And your slurry goes out the back.
Yep.
So you end up with a big mullocky behind your sluice.
Yep.
But all the good stuff drops down through the sluice
onto the green
mat, and then runs forward where the heavies are picked up.
Yep.
And then the water runs out the front.
Yep.
And the dirty.
Yeah. So, I mean that is a great way to process a lot of material, but it's not really.
Okay. There's a couple of questions regarding the Highbanker. Where does the gold end up? Well, it ends up in the
green
bottom
mat.
riffle mat. Yeah. The gold mat.
Yeah.
What's the cost for a Highbanker?
Highbankers.
Well, you can build your own.
Yeah, you can build your own. Highbanker, for instance, like some of these, a good quality Highbanker with a pump might run you over $1,000.
Yeah, you need a pump, and you're using fuel too. Don't forget.
Yeah.
But not in Queensland, New South Wales.
Yeah, and this is the problem with it, is that a lot of these jobs are actually, a lot of these things, like the Highbanker, it's illegal.
Yeah.
You can't run it in a fosking area, you can't run it in...
You can't even run it on private property.
Legally.
The issue is environmental about...
It bugs up the creek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got some questions here about...
dream map, we can get...
Do you sell a dream map?
We can get the dream map for you,
now,
Josh,
Reece wants to know what sluice do you recommend for a beginner? Well, it gets down to what you can transport for a start. If you've got a ute or you've got just a family car...
There's backpacker ones.
There's backpacker sluices. There's ones...
This is too small.
It's like... I don't know why I bought that, actually. But anyway, you know what you do when you start out looking for gold.
Yeah.
What do you think of the hog sluice? I'm not familiar with that brand, but...
Hog sluice, that's an American brand.
Okay.
The problem with the hog sluice, yes, you can get them. You can get them, no trouble at all over here. You've got to pay a fair bit of freight to get them here, but they're good sluices. It's not so much the sluice, like if you've got a properly tested Highbanker or a sluice for that matter with good quality mat in it, it doesn't. It's another metal detector thing.
I know.
$1,000 Highbanker is going to perform the same as every other brand.
There's a lot of and there's a lot of good reputable companies making sluices. Keen and those big companies in America.
That's right.
And there's plenty in Australia too.
Yeah.
But the issue here is check with your local state law regarding the use of powered equipment.
Yeah, and the powered equipment buggers you up because
that's true. The thing is with the Highbanker is that you need to get water pressure to the bar.
Yes, you need a lot of water pressure.
A lot of water pressure, and you can only get it with a pump.
Yep.
Which has to be mechanically driven.
Yep.
So even a solar pump wouldn't be acceptable, would it?
No, because it's mechanical.
Pumps are mechanical.
So that's the problem with it. So, and that's where everyone runs into trouble.
So if you had a bucket of water hanging in a tree with a hose, still you'd only get gravity pressure though. Wouldn't be no pressure.
Exactly.
You'd still get pinged by a mining warden for having a Highbanker.
Yeah, and this is your ongoing. This is your problem, right? Or what I see the problem is that you just can't go out and use whatever you like. You know, and this mechanical business really buggers it up for a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. Oh, look, it's all relative. I mean, back in the 1880s, they were using hydraulic monitors to destroy mountains.
Absolutely, yeah.
There was,
there's a balance there.
1870, it didn't matter what the river looked like.
No.
And they would just destroy a whole mountain to wash the gold out of it. Okay, you can't do that now. It's got down to the point where you can't use a tiny little pump to pump a water hole.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a couple of questions here I want to cover.
Yeah, okay.
So the angle of the sluice. Right. It depends. You've got too many variables to say put it at 5 degrees.
Depends on your stream velocity.
Yep. Water flow.
Yeah. What
size material you're processing.
Yes.
All this.
What I usually do is set it up and throw a few shovels into it and just see how it performs.
That's the way.
Because if they're all disappearing, or you're getting a lot of nothing is catching in the top. Too fast. If it's all chogging up and it's not flowing through, too slow.
Yeah.
And you just get a couple of boulders or cobbles under the water and just balance your sluice. Or take some bricks with you or something. Just to get the angle right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yes. Yeah, any sort of
pool pump work?
Yeah, any sort of pump.
A pool pump would work.
But
well, that'd be 240 volt.
So what you probably end up with is a petrol pump or an electric bilge pump. Right. The problem with the bilge pumps is sometimes they don't run enough power to operate a Highbanker.
Yeah, I've got a little Honda generator with a pump on it, but I can't use it anymore.
Yeah.
I've got a Highbanker, I can't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Just gathering dust.
Yeah. So, solar trommels, same thing. Mechanical. You're mining, or that's how they consider it. Like, there's companies that make that with a trommel sitting over the top of it.
Because we're talking about recreational prospecting here, though.
Yeah.
Like if you're a miner,
or you got to claim.
You got to claim. Well, then you can use this equipment.
Happy days.
You can use a 35-ton excavator.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is aimed at weekend prospectors, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, there's whole stacks of rules and regulations and.
But the thing about this is what we get we're getting more and more material as we're processing here.
Yes.
And if you ever go looking for gold or gemstones or whatever, after 10 minutes you think, gee, I need to process more material.
Absolutely.
I need to get bigger.
Yeah.
I need to get bigger.
Yeah.
And logically you end up with a mining piece.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's because you realise that
it's volume.
You can spend all day with a pan,
yeah.
get some nice colour, but if you spend all day with a rocker box, all day with a Highbanker, you'd have 20 times more material, you'd have 20 times more gold.
Exactly, yeah.
You know.
So, so then that leads us to, I think, the second best solution.
This is a solution that's illegal.
And, aside from detecting, I still think that detecting is the...
Yeah.
It's less digging.
Oh, I know. The thing is here...
Less work.
You're going to find gold this way you can never find with a detector.
Exactly.
Little gold.
Yep. So, let's just...
So this is the gold cradle or rocker box.
So this is how it works. We'll put it up on the table here. This is... you made this, didn't you?
Yeah, look, I got the... Normally, the traditional California gold cradle, which was used in Victoria too, and around Australia, New South Wales, North Queensland, where there's water, was 4 feet long. This one's, I've got the plans off an 1850 California rocker box, and this is exactly 2 feet long.
Half size?
Half size rocker box. It's
half width as well?
Everything's half scale.
Yeah, okay.
So the principle here is, forget that base part. So this is your cradle. You can see it looks like a baby's cradle with a rounded bottom.
Yep.
So basically it rocks. What I found was that in the bush, it bogs if you don't put it on a bit of plywood or something. Yep. So I just made an actual base frame for it to sit on, so you can actually rock it. And that way it doesn't move around on the ground either. But the beauty of the cradle is you can use it legally.
Can you get that?
Can you get that in there?
I'm not used to something that small.
No, yeah, all right, we won't go with that.
Yeah.
So the way the cradle works is, it rocks, obviously. That's why it's called a rocker box. But you rock and it agitates the gravel.
There we go.
So when you're rocking, you've got a handle to rock it with. You can use it as a one-man operation. So in the old days, a digger would have a jam tin on a stick. There's a dipper, and you'd just be tipping water in it.
Actually, let me put that picture up of the old fella.
There's me a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you're rocking it, this hopper, you can see it slides backwards and forwards like this. That agitates the material and it falls through that. I've just got on there some 6mm, what we call snake wire here in Queensland, wherever you are, I don't know what you call that, but it's just punched wire mesh. So it drops, that's your hopper you load. So you're agitating that and your material and you're dipping the water in there and it's washing the material through. When it goes through, like you can see that previous diagram Ben had, the next mat faces back towards the back of the rocker box. That's this one.
Yep.
I've just got some outdoor carpet from Bunnings on there and some more wire so it catches the nuggets. It runs into the back of the box. That's just an extra piece. And then it runs down the front of the box and out the front, and your tailings run out here. So as you're rocking, all your water's flowing this way, your gravel's washing through there, your oversize is staying in the hopper, which you tip out every now and then, and all your material runs down through here and gets stuck in that carpet. That'd be ideal to put that green matting in. Yes. I've just got that's just a bit of marine carpet I've got in here. This here is just a bit of aluminium. That's my panic bar, because if you've got my angle wrong, your material's flowing over it, and that gets the gold. You get a lot of gold trapped in there. The little tiny stuff's all through the mats. And this is all removable, so you wash it in a bucket and pan off the concentrates when you're finished. One person gets through a lot of gravel with a rocker box.
Yeah, you can do.
By yourself. Something this size is manageable, like the big 4-foot one. I wasn't going to build that because I had to transport it. Like that thing there, you know. I don't own a bullock dray.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can't get it around the country.
And see how that one there's got he's tipping the water from his tin there. It looks like his billy or something.
Yeah, his billy. He'd be boiling up his tea in that later.
Yeah. And these would be nice.
bit of gravel in the bottom of it.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be all right with a bit of gold.
Yeah, it would be, with a bit of gold in the bottom of it.
But gold in your coffee cup, you know you're on fire.
This is your basic. Basically, it's a big pan, but you still got to finish with the pan. But you can process a lot more material. Yeah. So this was used extensively in the gold rushes of the 19th century. It's a lot of fun to use. Great for the kids too, because you're down in the water. Yep. A lot like a sluice, you've got to get your angle right, because if you've got it too steep, you'll lose your material. Yep. You've got to be able to rock it at a velocity, we'll call it, that allows the material
to rattle in that
rattle and wash properly, because it's really good for working clayey ground. Yeah. because it breaks up the clay.
That wire in the bottom of that top box will break that clay up.
Breaks the clay up, and you can mash the clay through it.
Yeah.
I found a lot of gold, little gold with this, you know, up to like grain of rice sort of gold.
Yep.
Because you can process so much gold with it.
And that's the trick to it, isn't it? Processing material.
Yeah.
And that's not mechanical.
It's not mechanical.
No, there's no motor.
It's fully manual, so you can use that in any state.
Yeah.
You obviously got to have water, but you don't even need water. I just transport my own. I've got a big red wash tub. I just take 2 jerry cans of water. And just keep recycling your muddy water. It doesn't matter what colour the water is. It won't affect where the gold sits. You don't need fresh water all the time. And you end up with a big bucket of muddy water you can tip on a gum tree to water it later. And then to go home with your 2 empty jerry cans.
Absolutely,
Yeah, so that's a gold cradle.
So I have a, may as well leave it sit there.
That's just marine ply, it's easy to build.
I have a, let's just clean this up here, make us, because I have a theory, right?
Oh, that should be good.
Yeah, I've always got good theories.
Yeah.
So today I went out, I've been talking about this, I went out and bought a bilge pump.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, on the bottom of a bilge pump though, you can get these. This is a one-way valve. So when you pull the bilge pump back, it sucks in through here. And they use it as a bilge pump to pump water out of a boat when you're sinking.
Yeah.
You plug this on your,
when you're
away
sinking.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But,
I don't like boats.
You don't like boats, no. Well, they do sink, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So, I've seen these, and this isn't my idea, but I've seen these, well, I've taken it a little bit further, but I've seen these with bits of conduit on here, with a narrower tip on them, right? So you can crevice with this, right? Suck your, and it expels the
water in the material
out this.
So you're underwater, obviously pumping.
Underwater pumping, right? So you're crevicing, and it's putting the water and the wash out this outlet, right? So I've seen this work, and people use it crevicing, and they put it in a bucket, right? There's a couple of things you do. How about if we put a bit of hose on that outlet and then put it in the top of the rocker box?
Yeah, or even to a sluice.
Or even to a sluice, right? That
because it's going to be any fine material, isn't it?
Fine material?
Yeah.
Because this is only a fine hole.
Yeah, that's not going to pick up any large rocks.
Big rocks. So that could be a little manual powered sluice.
Yeah, if you got the tip to be like a vacuum cleaner nozzle, like in a crevice, would be awesome.
Yeah,
because you get a bit of suck on that thing, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at it. I saw another YouTube thing. No, it wasn't a YouTube thing. It was just a post that I saw on one of the thingos. They were actually using this to pressurise a 20-litre bucket.
Oh, okay.
Right. So they pressurised the 20-litre bucket, and then they had a hose coming out of the 20-litre bucket to suck the stuff out of the cracks.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Into the bucket.
Oh, righto.
But it was a two-man operation. One bloke was pressurising the bucket.
Yeah.
But the advantage is there was no gravel going through this.
Yep.
So it would make it, like I would think that would, but I don't think that's a long-term.
No.
Like that was $20 that fitting.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And you'd probably buy them cheaper on.
So how does it, like, it's pretty abrasive what you're pulling up. Was that going to affect the pump too much?
No, it won't affect it won't affect the bilge pump.
Oh,
but I think it'll affect this thing.
Yeah.
Because that's just a bit of a.
Oh, you just get a spare.
Plastic fitting.
Have a spare.
It's only a $20
Actually,
fitting.
if you could get that fabricated out of brass or something, it'd be good.
Oh, absolutely. But your one-way valve, see, it's got. I don't know whether you can see it there. That it's got a rubber flapper in there, and I would think over a period of time that will.
So what you're doing there is you're going directly from your stream bed. Look, what I'd normally do with a rocker box or a pan is go and dig, well, especially with a rocker box, 5 or 6 buckets of gravel first.
Yep.
Process a bucket at a time and see what you got in them. Remember where you got your bucket of gravel from, like we were saying last week. So you go back to the right spot.
Yep.
And then line up a heap of buckets, because the hard part's digging the material in it. You've got to get down to the bedrock.
Yep.
And you've got to clean out the bedrock.
Yep.
And then I put it through the rocker box. Yeah. What you're doing is you're going bypassing all that, and just going live, basically straight to the spot.
Straight to the rocker box. It's a hand-powered dredge.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You know, you could have a floating sluice, just like on a dredge.
Proper dredge.
And be walking down.
So is that mechanical? A bait pump?
No.
Oh.
Well, it's no more mechanical than a shovel. Now, I am not the mining inspector.
I'm not either.
But
I'm not either.
I think that's got to be as manual as you can get it.
No, I don't think you're going to be
It's a one-way valve.
You're not using. You're not destroying much of the countryside with that thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
we're cleaning these creeks up with this pesky gold. It's everywhere.
That's exactly
it's
right.
Everywhere.
The metal in the it buggers things up. Right. So these.
Well, where do you buy that pump? Someone's asked.
These are from. I bought this from a place called Boating and RV, which is it's a ship's chandlery. It's a chandlery shop. Whitworths do them. Any of the chandleries will do them because they're used as an emergency bilge pump.
Okay.
So, and the idea is you put a hose on that end and you
pump it overboard
sort of thing. So it's emergency bilge pump, and it's $20.
Yep.
I think you can see. I think Whitworth's.
That'll be worth a crack.
Oh, I think somehow or other.
In an area where, because as you can appreciate, a lot of these gold streams never dry up.
We finished with this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of places in Australia are very dry, obviously.
Yeah.
But it depends where you are. If you're in the wet tropics or you're in
even Warwick
northern New South Wales, like
in the puddles up
around Ebor and around off the ranges in New England, it's always wet. It's rainforest.
Yeah.
So you're going to have water all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that's manual. I think that is a.
I'm not going to. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, the vehicle you use to get to the prospecting area is mechanical.
Well,
your car's mechanical.
Well,
why aren't you in trouble for driving that?
Well, I'll let you argue that with the mining inspector.
I don't know.
Okay, for those who joined us late, I'm Ben from Gold Diggers. This is Warren from NQ Explorer. I've got a shop here in Brisbane. Warren's got the world's greatest YouTube channel. I keep saying that. Is it?
Well, it's one of the. It's a YouTube channel.
It's a YouTube. Geez, you've downgraded yourself.
I don't want to talk myself up too much.
Yeah. But anyway, tonight we're giving away an Ace 200. All you have to do is share this live stream. We're going to draw this in about 13 minutes time, 15 minutes time. So hang around for the draw. Yes, this will go out tomorrow to someone anywhere in the world. If you're in California or Germany or England or Greece. Is there any gold in Greece?
Gold in Greece?
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But the ancient Greeks had gold. Oh, they probably used it all up, eh?
Yeah.
We can get detailed drawings of the rocker box. Okay. Yeah, I just got detailed drawings off the internet.
Yes.
And
the stacks of them.
Just Google 1850s pattern California Cradle or something, and you will find there are some DIY plans on there. It's important to get the dimensions right. Oh, well, it was for me from a historical point of view.
Yeah.
The thing I did wrong with that rocker box was paint it that colour, because when the paint flakes, it's yellow. Don't paint your rocker box gold and yellow. Paint it another colour. That's lesson to self. But that's just marine ply. But I mean, you've got to use good material because being timber, it wears, obviously.
Yeah.
So I've used a little aluminium angle on all the sliding parts.
Did you get a special on that paint?
Yeah, I did. It actually was. I think it come off the, they go to Bunnings and you get that table of this, wrong mixes.
There's a bit of gold paint.
Yes, gold paint. That's a great idea. Wasn't a good idea. The first bucket I put through, Jesus, look at this. I've got that much colour.
Yeah.
It was all paint. No, not really, but it floated out. But yeah, that's nice. It's done some hours now, so it's pretty well worn in.
Yeah.
Just Google a California Cradle.
Yeah, and I mean that's there's a lot of that sort of information.
Like that picture Ben's got there. Yeah. Like I said, the traditional box is about 4 feet long, which is about manhandleable, like a 4-foot rocker box. Look how much material that bloke's putting through that, and look how wide that.
Yeah, and look at the water flow down the bottom of that.
I know, he's putting a lot of gears through that.
Yeah.
Whereas that little one there is designed just to transport out for the weekend, have a bit of a fun.
Yeah. But you can still put a lot of material through.
A lot of material, a lot more than panning.
Yeah.
Still got to pan the concentrates, but what I do is generally bring the concentrates home. Don't waste your time in the field. You've got to do a few pans to know if you're on colour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the thing is, the rocker box and any of these things like Highbankers, it's too tempting to wash up a lot.
Yeah.
But you need to just keep processing material when you're in the field.
Yeah. That's the trick with it.
Because the other option is to, like we were talking about last week, was go and get some wash dirt and do it in the backyard.
Yes. Oh, well...
But you end up with a big pile of gravel on your lawn.
Exactly. And someone asked there last week, we may as well, since you brought it up, you've got that bag of wash.
About buying wash. This is a bag of wash. $50 it is for, what is it? 500 grams.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably got 500 grams of gold in it.
Well,
I've never opened it.
I don't think
so it's a coffee packet. This is from the Palmer River Goldfields. It's been through a wash plant, guaranteed to have gold and tin in it. So I'll open it one day and pan that. But
that's a retirement fund, is it?
Yes, a retirement fund. I should have in a safe. That should be in a safety deposit box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In Switzerland.
Yeah.
But the thing about this is, if you don't live near a goldfield, or you haven't got time much to get it, look, buy a bag of wash, and you can buy them on eBay probably.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Good way to learn to pan. Do it in the backyard where you control the environment.
Yeah.
Reuse all your material. Just keep. I've done this before with this kind of wash. You can put it through your pan 5 or 6 times, still getting gold.
Yeah.
You'll get the bigger pieces first.
Yeah.
But you'll miss flakes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
If you're learning, I'm talking about. This is a good way to learn because you know you're going to get gold.
Yeah.
Because if you go out into the bush, dig a hole in the wrong place,
you won't get it.
But and it mightn't be your technique; it's your sampling technique.
Yep.
Like we were talking about last week.
Absolutely.
Read a stream. Don't go to deep ground.
Yeah.
All that kind of thing.
Yeah. And if you're near a fossicking area, you can go out and you can go out and get your wash yourself. Of course.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that we probably didn't say last week. That's self-evident. If you're going to go looking for gold, go to a goldfield.
Yeah.
But that sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But you know that you can raw prospect anywhere in Australia and probably find gold. But these fossicking areas are in goldfields.
Yeah.
Traditional 1800s goldfields.
Yeah.
Where gold is found and was found and continues to be found. So that's the first thing you do, go to a goldfield. And then they're everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of gold around the place. So. Right. This is my favourite part of the evening.
Cool.
Warren's going to show us, we talked about divining a number of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know when it was.
No, we have talked about it in the past.
Yes.
Now,
Warren's going to give us all.
I'll have divine for gold. It's the same as divining for water.
Yes.
I was out in Eastern Goldfields in WA a few years ago where we're getting some nice bits of gold. And the lease owner who allowed us on came out in the afternoon and he said, I'll show you a bit of divining. And we all sort of, divining? What's this magic? We're all using metal detectors and we're all 21st century.
Yeah.
What's this divining? Ray gave us a crash course on divining and it's not mumbo jumbo, it actually works. So the way it works is like this. You get 2 pieces of wire. These are actually commercial for divining rods that Ben's got in the shop here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually sell them.
That's a telescopic jobby, and it's even got a little, thoughtfully they've got a little clip to put on your pen pocket thing. Some people like to use a piece of copper and a piece of fencing wire. Like there's all sorts of, it sounds superstitious, but it's what you're comfortable with. So here's your divining rods.
Yep.
Now.
So how does it work?
The way it works is, the critical thing is you have to tune the rods to your body.
Right, how do you do that?
How do you do that?
It's like a ground balance.
You have to ground balance the divining rods. You have to tune the divining rods for them to work for you, your individual rods, and it'll be different for Ben and I or anyone else. You have to tune the divining rods to a personal item.
Right.
So what you do is, you take off your wedding ring or some bit of bling you got on, you put it out on the ground.
Yeah.
That's part of you.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you get your rods, you think about your wedding ring.
Yeah.
And I'll guarantee when you walk across that wedding ring, they'll cross over.
Right.
So you've tuned the rods to you.
Yep.
Okay? That's the first thing we did. I thought, this isn't going to work. It worked. The next thing, this is a way to train yourself with divining. You can divine for anything you like, but principally for gold or water.
Yep.
But you can tell the difference between salt water and fresh water. So what we did was, we had a glass of water that we filled up with a bit of sacks of salt from the camp.
Yeah.
Salt water, 10 metres down the track. We had a pannikin of fresh water and we had some gold nuggets in the tray.
Yeah.
So if I decide I'm going to find salt water, I don't know why I'm looking for salt water, but if I'm looking for salt water, all I have to do is, once I've tuned it to my personal item, I walk down the track and I'll guarantee the rods will cross on the tin of salt water.
Really?
They won't cross on the gold and they won't cross on the fresh water.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about what you want to find and you've tuned them into your personal item.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds ridiculous, but it really, really works.
Yeah. Well, they're $35 those. Someone just asked how much they were.
Okay.
$35.
So the next thing is, if you're looking for gold, you think about gold, and it will cross on gold.
It's a mental thing.
It's a mental thing. You have to tune the rods to your individual body, actually. So, like, if I tuned these rods to me, they wouldn't necessarily work for you. You'd have to retune them. You could even put your glasses down and say, that's my personal item. Find my glasses.
Okay.
And when it will cross on the glasses.
Yep.
When you watch it and you see someone doing, they're crossing these rods, they're not though.
Well, these rods actually...
These rods you can't control because they're pivoted.
Yeah, like it's a hollow tube.
That's right.
And the rod sits in them.
That's right. So it's not like where there's a piece of wire where you could actually theoretically manipulate it.
Yeah.
So these rods here are completely random. So you can just move them around. Look you can't see that, but they just crossed over all these gold nuggets we got here.
Yeah.
Actually, we meant to show you these gold nuggets.
Yeah, we will do that.
I'll point to them in
Actually, what we'll do is we'll do...
So anyway, yeah.
Let's do the divining over the top.
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to go looking for gold nuggets, right? And let me just...
So there's
I might just turn that fan off if you wouldn't mind there.
So here's you can't... Or you can see me on the little... Can you see us on the little picture? You can't.
No, but we'll see the rods.
So here's the rods coming in. I've got no control over these rods.
We're probably a bit closer.
There's a bit of parallax error there because of the camera.
But you saw them.
Have a look at that.
Yeah.
It's impossible for me to control these rods because there's a pivot point at that right angle.
Yeah.
So if I cross the nuggets, if I pull back, it'll open up again.
Yeah.
I'm away from the gold. You can't see that on camera, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm coming back in low.
That's incredible.
Look at that. It's showing me where the gold is.
That's amazing, that.
Okay, you're not going to pinpoint like a sniper core.
No.
But so what I'm saying is, in the bush you can look for gold, you can look for fresh water, you can look for salt water, and it really, really works, but you have to tune it to yourself.
Yeah.
But you see the way these rods work with gold.
I'm going to have a crack at them.
Yeah, look, now the choice you've got is to buy a $1,200 metal detector or a $30 pair of divining rods.
$35 pair of divining rods.
So, like, I mean, that's not... I can't physically control these myself.
And they cross over.
Watch that.
Yep.
They can smell the gold.
Yeah.
It actually works. I don't understand how, I don't understand why. It's like an iPhone, I just want it to work.
Yeah.
But the reason we've got this gold here
is
to show you a bit of an example of...
So last week we talked about the different purities of gold and what I think we talked about the gold mixed with silver, copper, all this sort of stuff.
So what you can see here is this gold I've found all over Australia, and look at the different colours. So you can see that buttery yellow, 96 to 98%. That's Palmer River, Hodgkinson, North Queensland. And actually, Ben, that nugget there's 4 grams. Colleen found that with an Ace 250.
Oh, is that the
detector.
Is that the Ace 250?
You notice it's the biggest piece of gold here, actually.
Yeah. Oh, that one up the top there might be...
Now this one here, that's an interesting one. That is leaf gold from the centre of the Cape. It looks like it's been rolled up and flattened with a rolling pin.
Yep.
Well, that's pointing to the wrong things.
Oh, there. Yeah. Sorry, that's leaf gold. Okay, that's the Palmer Hodgkinson gold.
Yeah.
Now look at this one here. Look at the colour of that. That's less attractive, you might say. That's actually...
it looks more like a rock, doesn't it?
It looks like a rock. That has a high silver content, so it's very pale gold with ironstone.
Yeah.
That's from Flat Creek in North Queensland. That was that would not assay very high for gold. It's got it's got a lot of silver in it, put it that way.
Yeah.
That's typically that Central Cape area. You get a lot of silver in the gold.
Yep.
This beautiful piece here, that's from Ballarat. That's just gorgeous. Beautiful yellow gold. That'd be 96, 97% pure.
That's a nice bit of gold, that.
Yeah, come back over here. This is WA. A lot of ironstone.
Yeah.
Very red.
Yeah.
This here, even redder, that's Claremont.
Yeah.
So you can see that's a lot of ironstone mixed with the gold.
Yep.
So it's not just pure ironstone, but it's also the gold itself has a lot of iron in it.
Yeah.
These ones here are really pure looking. They're from Tibooburra in northern New South Wales in Corner Country. These ones are Bendigo gold. Once again, you can see that Victorian gold is really pretty gold.
Yep.
These ones here are Jurakai out there at
they're a bit grubby looking, aren't they?
Yeah, they look a bit sad compared to the Palmer, don't they?
Yeah.
But that's because of the ironstone in them.
Yeah.
So that's just some examples of what gold can look like. Like I said last week, if you're questioning whether you got gold in your pan, it's not gold. You won't mistake it for gold, but gold varies so much visually based on its composition.
Yeah.
So as you can see from all over Australia, I think the only state I haven't got here is WA, or I haven't got Tasmania either.
Yeah.
But locally it varies too, of course,
yeah.
Because the states are so big. But particular gold fields, and people who, these gold boys we were talking about last week,
come off though.
Who know how to assay, they can look at gold and say that's from so-and-so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, they know.
Which gold field it came from.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit like a fingerprint, isn't it?
It is a genetic fingerprint, pretty much, for sure.
Right, so it's 8:30.
Randomiser
on the time, on the nose. Randomiser time. So you have 10 seconds to get your last share in to win the Ace 200. We'll send it out tomorrow. Just a bit of a reminder in case you come, Warren from NQ Explorers, I'm Ben from Gold Diggers, and we're giving away that tonight. So we've had a lot of over 600 shares tonight, so the 600 entries plus the shares earlier through the week, they all count. So let's run the randomiser now. We're looking for a Peter Parks. Now, where's Peter from? He's from Georgetown in Tasmania. Peter, are you kicking around, Peter? Peter's just won the Ace 200. We're going to send that out tomorrow. Is Peter still with us, or has he abandoned us? Let's hope he hasn't abandoned us. So, if someone knows Peter, dig him in the ribs.
Peter's there.
Peter's there. Beautiful. Good work, Peter.
Congratulations, Peter.
Yes. So you get a machine. It'll come out tomorrow. There's a big thank you from Peter. So well done, Peter. Thank you all for joining us. Now, we've still got one little thing I wanted to cover, and then we'll get, we're happy to hang around for 5 or 10 minutes afterwards. But long-range metal detectors. I always get this question. The only long-range metal detector that I have any faith in is actually divining rods at the moment.
Tell you what, if you made these 20 metres long, it'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
hard to carry.
You can sit in your car and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're a lot of fun divining rods. They really work.
Yeah, we should actually
do a video on it.
Yeah. We will do a video on it, a YouTube video. We'll get out in the bush and we'll see if we can find some gold nuggets with it and prove the concept.
Yep.
But long-range detectors. I always get this question. People look at these long-range detectors come out of downtown Shanghai. And they make huge claims about being able to find gold over huge distances, and it will point you in the right direction, or you stick one rod in here and one rod up there, and it'll tell the difference.
So it's some sort of seismic system. We don't know. It's probably just a box with
a beeping box.
A beeping box.
Yeah. So my suggestion is steer clear of those long-range detectors, because if those long-range detectors...
Is that what it's called, a long-range detector?
Yeah, they're long-range metal detectors.
Okay.
If they worked, these professional blokes in WA would be using them. Mining companies would be using them. Like, there'd be no gold left.
No.
So they don't work.
Well, mining companies are still flying around with helicopters and big geodesic rings on them.
Yeah. So
that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're not going to. They're
not going to spend $1,000 on a long-range detector from Shanghai.
The best thing about gold is it's hard to find. Yeah. That's why it's worth a lot of money. Yeah.
Right. So, have we got any questions here that we need to answer?
I'll have a look at some of these back questions, make sure we've got them all. Well, how far underground is gold detectable? That's a piece of string question.
Yeah, it is a bit of a piece of it. A giant. Well, you look at an ATX or a GPX or a GPZ, it'll find a Toyota at 3 metres.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it depends on the size of the target.
Yeah. So if there's a piece of gold the size of a Toyota,
if it's a welcome stranger,
you'll pick it up deep. Yeah, really deep.
And allied to that was Noel's question earlier on. He's got a GPX. What would you use, a mono or a DD? I'd use a mono, it's more sensitive.
Yep. A mono, it'll be a little bit more noisy, but I'd put up with that. Like I run monos on the ATX, similar sort of machine.
Yeah, you use a mono. And it wants to know, what about difference between a ring pull and gold? Well, if you're talking about gold rings on the beach or in the park, nil probably, because ring pulls come right in at 56, 58, where all your gold rings are. Yep. On a VLF.
Yeah, exactly. If you, however,
you're talking about target IDs, they're very, very similar.
Yep.
Gold nugget, not very different though.
However, if you're, I don't want to drop these,
we'll never get them back.
If you're talking about gold nuggets that size, there'll be a dramatic difference because they're smaller and low conductivity.
Yeah.
So, Joshua asked what government body controls claims in New South Wales? It'll be the Mines Department.
Yes, Department of Minerals and Energy or something like that.
And good luck with that. I had a very unproductive day just last week, talking to the Mines Department.
Well, there's a lot of, if you're talking about a claim, it's a lengthy process. You've got environmental, you've got native title.
Native title.
It can be years of processing
yes.
to get to the point where you can actually dig a hole.
Yeah, yeah.
And even as a recreational.
Yep. And as a, like, you might want to have a claim on a state forest, for instance, a piece of state forest or a piece of your own private land, right? And you want to be able to go there.
Yeah.
And you want to
camp there and
detect, right? In Queensland, you can't. Is the short version. Okay. You have to be a mining company.
Yep.
Right. So the old days, like I remember going out to Warwick, that big hill area at Warwick, and there must have been 20 blokes, all owned separately, all on peg ground, and they all worked their little bits, right? And that was old-fashioned hobby mining. Yeah. You know, you'd go out and you'd have a weekend out in the bush, and you'd dig some holes, and away you'd go.
Yeah.
All of that is gone.
Yeah.
Right. I tried to manage that, and I haven't given up on it yet. I think there might be a way to do it, but yes, it's tragic. Very, very sad that you can't, as a small.
I know.
Like,
what was Eureka Stockade all about?
Yeah, exactly. Now you can't even.
And we're still getting taxed for mining licences.
Yes. So I have spent 2 half days, so I'm a little bitter at the moment.
Yeah, I know. So Queensland's a tough customer.
And don't get me wrong though, Queensland is a tough customer compared to some of the other states. But don't get me wrong, they were really helpful. They're working within the guidelines. It's not the people. No, it's the system.
It's the system.
And I'm a bit,
It's the Mining Act or whatever's in there that's. It's some sort of legislation working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that can be changed. If you get a local member who's, a miner or is sympathetic to prospectors. That's actually a joke. I'm just.
Yeah.
No,
but
put it this way: elect a local member. Why don't you run for parliament?
No, I don't think I'd be politically correct enough. The problem with it is that years and years and years of people not quite doing the right thing, and then the really conservative green, the conservationists coming in and saying, what about the speckled red green tree frog? And I understand
and you've got to admit you've been to goldfields everywhere. There's some pretty crappy old mining camps and abandoned gear out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not talking about historic when does it become historic?
Yeah.
But like old trucks and 44-gallon drums laying around everywhere and pipes laying around. The place is a mess in some. Like a big mining company is forced to clean up when it finishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a lot of these weekend prospectors just walked off ground.
Yeah,
and that was the end of it. And there's an old Austin truck sitting there.
Yeah, exactly.
Rotting away or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. So.
I get that.
Yeah. So David makes a good point. Some of the miners, allow you to camp on ground for a period of time, and yes. So
because there's different levels. There's a license to prospect, and there's like it just goes.
So in Queensland, there's a prospecting permit, right? Now, a prospecting permit, you can get a prospecting permit to go and peg ground, but you can't actually prospect the ground, right? So then the next layer is you can go and get a prospecting permit that allows you to do hand mining, which is prospecting, right? But for that, you need to be on ground that's got no native title on it, right?
Which is probably nowhere.
Which is nowhere, right? So you have to really do a native title assessment on it before you actually go and prospect the ground to see whether it's worthwhile doing.
Yeah.
The cheapest I can do a native title claim, and you might not have any result, is $3,000 and 18 months.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So basically anywhere that's
And it may not be resolved after that time.
No, it won't be, no. So
what happened to the old MHL, our miners' homestead lease, where you could build a house and you can't do that anymore? Don't have them.
None of that's
gone.
All gone.
Okay.
So that's just a prospect. You can't go and detect. You can pan that, but you can't go and
work it with a machine.
You can't work it with a machine. You can't do anything like that.
So you got to form a company, you're saying?
Right, and then no, I think they've got to go through a list. I think you need $1 million in your pocket before you go. You need to be, So then from there, then you have to go through the full thing to be able to peg a lease, and then it's just. I haven't given up on it yet, but
I would.
There's a point where I'll give up on it. So
yeah.
So it's it's yes. Steve makes a good point here. It's cheaper to go and buy a block of land in the goldfields.
Yeah, that's right.
And detect it.
Well, there's leases for sale.
Yeah, there is
some leases for sale.
There's leases for sale.
But who sells a lease that hasn't been worked out?
Exactly.
You're not going to sell a rich lease.
No.
Now, this is a good question from Stephen. Can you detect on your own land? Do you need a permit to detect on your own land?
For gold?
For gold? Or
yes.
Or if you're digging for gemstones manually, or you're digging for any precious metal with a metal detector, you have to have a fossicking licence, or you have to be licensed.
Yes. And legally, in Queensland, if you want to run a Highbanker on your own block of land, right, you have to have a mining claim on your own block of land.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't even, However, if you're looking for coins around the old homestead and you happen to come across a bit of gold, happy days, you don't even need a fossicking licence.
That's right. That's right.
But
I mean, in the end,
unlikely you're going to get.
In the end, the Crown owns everything, even if it's freehold land.
Yeah.
The Crown owns, and of course you can't go below 6 feet. You can't tunnel.
Yep.
Because once you start tunnelling your mining, that's illegal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Crown owns it all anyway.
Yep.
Although there was that $100,000 limit, but you're still going to have a permit.
Yeah. Legally, you're supposed to have a permit, sort of thing. So.
Yeah.
Reese asked about the 705. Reese, the Mine Lab 705. If you want training, there's a stack of YouTube videos. Talk to the Mine Lab guys.
Well, actually, I guess the Xterras have been two Equinoxes have superseded the Xterra series, haven't they?
Well,
are they still making Xterras?
They're still making Xterras.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So I hope for a lot of people that are still buying machines, Xterras, that they're still a machine they're going to support, sort of thing. So,
are you allowed to pan in rivers? Yes.
Yes, with a fossicking licence in a fossicking area.
In a fossicking area. And then there's the issue of the 300 metres downstream, there can't be any turbidity or whatever.
Yep.
You can't soil a stream up.
Yep. And you can't even pan on your own ground.
Can't pan on your own. You can't undercut. You can remove some vegetation, but and you've got to refill. You've got to remediate everything behind you.
Yep. So, yeah.
You can pan in rivers, but not just any river. Because don't forget, you've got national parks. They're completely off limits, no matter what.
Yep.
No national park anywhere.
Yep.
Detecting, panning, anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And fossicking areas, yes.
Yep. And there's stacks of areas you get stacks of fossicking areas that are good for panning.
All over the country.
Yeah, like for instance, the closest fossicking area here is about 17,000 hectares of ground. Yeah. So it's a phenomenal bit of ground, right?
A lot of wash out there. You can dig a lot of ground.
Yeah, exactly. So
we're not talking about detectable gold. When you think about how much fine gold's in these goldfields, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah. If only you could stick a Highbanker in it.
The best thing, what I really love about panning and rocker boxing and all the other manual methods, is you can just about guarantee you will come home with gold every time you go.
Absolutely.
You can't say that about detecting.
No.
You will come home with gold.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep. absolutely. And that's great for the kids.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And you can say, oh, look, you go back to work on Monday, did you find your gold,
Yeah. So, so it's good. Right, I think we've gone 15 minutes over time.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. Congratulations to Peter for winning the prize. I'll be here again next week. Warren's off next week. He's not around next week. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm going to WA.
You're going to WA, yeah. So it'll be me. I haven't worked out a subject. I haven't worked out whether anyone else is coming on yet.
He's just winging it.
I am winging it. So, right, so thanks very much.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
For coming along, Warren.
Been great.
And thanks everyone for viewing. And we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Well, I will anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, folks.